All right, so we've talked about, stage 1, 2, and 3. This is stage 4. This is where a lot of my time is poured into. Now, why did I create, this is a 3-ring binder. You can see that from here. You're going to see lots of stuff in this. And why did I do this? I did this because 2 doctor's appointments in association with reading this material just wasn't enough. I didn't want to do what everyone else did. I want to offer the patient or parent a lifetime of help. I wanted you to be able to get this report done one time and then to be able to refer back to it over and over and over and over and over. I wanted it to be, look at this, it's right at the bottom here, ready? From genomic variant to actionable support. I really want you to be impacted by this forever. So I'm going to open this up. I might have to pull it off screen in order to open the page, but first of all, high-end 3-ring binder. This isn't your average 3-ring binder. The reason is I want this on your shelf. I want you handling this regularly, and I don't want it to get destroyed. This is a long-term investment. This is forever going to change your life. This goes with you. If it's with your child through, adolescence, it's with your child through early adulthood, adulthood, all the way into your elder years. This report can be used from the day that you receive it until the day you no longer exist. All right, so let me continue. Ready? So this is the 3-ring binder. You open it up. You can see this is the report you saw earlier. I'm going to open this up too, just kind of show you what it looks like after I played with it. I told you there was stickers. Again, we're going to have to go through this real quick. You can see where I've highlighted, hey, this is going to be what's your diet and how it's going to impact you. The research I want to include with this particular one is going to now refer to, ta-da, your 3-ring binder. We'll kind of get into that in a minute, but I'll show you a couple more pages that are completed for this individual. Not all of them are going to have stickers. Otherwise, we'd be here all day because, here, this one has 2 stickers. And again, one's going to be, I think one's a handout, one's a report. Some of them I go nuts where I'm taking notes beside it, things I want you to pay attention to. There's a little shark sticker. How you use this is then you would take this report, you would take, hey, look, I want to know more about that shark sticker. Okay, great. So we're going to go back here to the research. Now notice right here, you see a sticker in the top corner. This is actually the research that coincides with the recommendations that we're making. Look, there's another sticker there. Let's see if I can find the shark. It takes a little bit to find them. The zebra, the lion. Sometimes I use big gaudy stickers and sometimes I use little tiny ones. Since this was an adult male, I kind of tried to keep it not quite so frilly and not quite so colorful. There's that book we just saw, and this one's talking about folinic acid. There you go. So folinic acid, 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate. Yes, supplementation for mutations that affect epigenetics through the folate 1-carbon cycle. There's the research behind it. Yes, I don't expect you to read, understand everything. However, it starts your mind thinking, oh, you mean there's a reason for the way that I'm behaving. Oh, there's a reason for how I'm feeling what I'm feeling. Or my child, and you start to move through this. Okay, potential role of, don't make me do this. Jaren, oh, I can't do it. Some of these words are just impossible. So this is the research section. Back here this is the handout section. So if I'm going to want certain things in your diet, it's going to bring me here. Okay. And it's going to show me some things. Now, this particular gentleman has some really neat things that I didn't even know were an issue until we got to him. But first, let me go through his report. So when you open up this book, now it's got a little pocket here. This is a very nice 3-ring binder. I was actually kind of impressed with them. Bottom at Staples, and they were just not dealing with low-end junk here. Let me kind of get this to focus better. There we go. This is the introduction. And into the introduction, I don't know if he has every single page, but here is your genomic report to create your DNA precise health plan. And then how does the testing process work? This is so that when his friends and family, hey, I really like this. Can I do this too? It's sitting here, right here in front of you. how this compares to other DNA companies, this is not 23andMe. Okay. This is a clinical decision support platform. This is patient data is never sold. And just so you know, the Intellex DNA does not keep your name associated with your DNA anywhere. I am the only one that has that information, and I keep it in a drawer. So it's not even a digital, it's just in a drawer. So that's kind of cool that you're protected. So it's root cause focused. It is clinically relevant, targeted treatment recommendations. It includes lifestyle, nutrition, supplements, prescription medications, trusted by researchers, trusted by medical practitioners, over 700 clinically significant SNPs evaluated, multiple pathways evaluated per topic. Process time is about 4 weeks. Validated for accuracy, ancestry, and genealogy. It does not include ancestry or genealogy. Oops, I didn't get that here. Let me move this down so you can see. So the only thing this doesn't do is the ancestry and genealogy. So whole genome sequencing, it's really not very accurate. The most I've ever seen from another company is like 30. I think I might have seen a 45, but that was by a medical grade. This one's 700 plus, depending on which report you get. The lowest reports are 700. From a yeah, don't make me say this, but basically how the genetics impact your pharmacological. So how are you going to react to anesthesia? That's included. How are you going to react to different medications? Are these medications even going to work for you? I don't know. Let's see. Nutrition and lifestyle genomics. So it's also included there. Does not include ancestry. For those of you who are sort of like, I don't really understand what DNA and genomics are, this is kind of a little cheat sheet here. Just kind of get, if I say it's attached to the G or the A or the T, this is what I'm talking about. This is kind of how these work. Here's just for a copy of all the reports available. These things I can always, anybody who's wanting to look further, it's on my website and or available for you to message me and I can send it to you. Again, this is another way for you to see the reports. So the report you saw earlier in the first video was for autism. So we start with the mental wellness report. It includes all of these. And then we also add the autism spectrum contributing factors, the neurobehavioral research, and the PANDAS PANS. This particular one, I believe, is this one. I did one with a lady that has been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. I did this one and this one together because I was actually worried about brain ischemia. And it's just, I was worried about other things. So I kind of looked for more information. So keep going. This is another paper discussion of Intellex DNA versus direct-to-consumer genomic testing. These are some articles I've written, and yes, I know I need to add my letterhead and whatnot to this. I will in the next sections. This is about chasing a diagnosis. I want to go through this one really quick. So a diagnosis is just a descriptive word. Rarely is it a physical, tangible, manageable item. For all those people that are asking me why I don't believe in autoimmune disorders, I don't. I cannot physically hold an autoimmune disorder in my hand. It is literally a description of a group of symptoms. That's all it is. And those, so let's say we're saying symptoms known as fibromyalgia. Those symptoms are XYZ for this person and PDQ for this person. So it's not even effective at describing what your symptoms are. So anyway, so even when a bacteria, mold, or bacteria, virus, or mold exists, there's an underlying cause that allowed the body to get out of balance. Typically, there was a weakness, an injury, a toxin, cell death, or deficiency behind that infection. Getting a diagnosis really only serves two purposes. It allows doctors to talk about a group of symptoms without naming them all, and it's great for billing insurance companies. It's not really serving the individual that's sick. I would say 80% of the time, the doctor's like, oh, this is what it is. Oh, and there's nothing we can do about it. Or the best I can do is support symptomology, which is a different conversation. The page before kind of goes through that. But it doesn't point to a cause. And since it does not point to a cause, it doesn't point to a treatment with 100% accuracy. The doctors from the 1800s to the mid 1900s debated whether or not making a diagnosis really served their patients. It was a big debate. I've read all about it. It was phenomenal how they said it was the most, making a diagnosis and naming things and giving the patient the name of things was actually detrimental. I would agree, because then the patient does a couple things. The patient then identifies with that. My diabetes, my fibromyalgia, my autoimmune disorders, and it becomes part of their identity, therefore a self-fulfilling prophecy. It becomes who they are, and just their identity, it becomes who they are. And they live into it, and then they train everybody in their life to live into it. Therefore, they're never free to break from that. That's the psychological impact of having a diagnosis is pretty profound on the individuals. Now, on to these explanations. So, told you I was going to do 3 explanations. Explanation number 1, picture me writing the word spelling in giant letters across a dry erase board. Now, assign one symptom of each letter of the word spelling. Example: S is for dizzy, P is for pain, E is for fever, L is for trouble thinking. You get the point. You now have the disease known as spelling. But wait, we run a genomic report, you find out that you have TNF3 and BDNF in your hotspots. Now we have an idea as to why, and we have a game plan. We supplement to support neurotropin 3 and raise your BDNF, and bam, the pain and the mental clarity are gone. Now, so now all you have left is SELING. You lost symptoms with the proper support. Does that mean that you never had spelling, or does that mean that spelling was never you? And I want you to kind of be with that for a moment. Could you consider that there are some underlying causes or some genes that are impacting your life? And what if there was things we can do about them? So one of the young ladies that I've treated is wheelchair bound and has a genetic deformity from birth, or genetic variant from birth, and she's going to be wheelchair bound. Most of the children die before they're a couple years old, and there's nothing I can do to influence that gene. There's nothing I can do. Does that mean there's nothing I can do, or does it mean there's nothing I can do for that gene? So in her case, we looked over her genomic report, and we influenced the genes we could influence and improved her life 10% right away. We are now up to about a 20% improvement a month out. And I don't know how much better she can get. So we'll see. So going to kind of continue. This explains why diagnoses are always changing, evolving, and how people spontaneously heal. Oh my goodness, my autoimmune disease is over. It's gone. And if you have an autoimmune disease, I'm sure you've watched all the TED Talks and all the videos of people who've cured it or reversed it or whatever. Then you've done exactly what they told you to do and didn't get the same results. So then you determined that they did not actually have that, but you do, and there we go. What if their genomic report that brought on those symptoms was just different than yours? What if what they were trying to raise their glutathione, where you're trying to lower your glutathione? Like I said, that first gentleman in the first video, I talked about him having, maybe I didn't talk about it, a reaction to copper. So his body could not process copper any way, shape, or form. So every time his mother would give him a supplement, it had copper in it, she was actually making him sicker and sicker. And we had to detox his brain from copper. As soon as we did that, 3 days later, his OCD was completely gone. So did that young man have OCD? Or did that young man have the inability to break down copper? Do you see the difference? Okay, we're gonna keep going. Explanation number 2. This one's my favorite, and I'm not gonna read from the book because I love to tell the story. So I can give you a blue pen. I can give you a blue shirt. I can give you a blue tab. I can give you blue paint, blue Play-Doh. I can hand you all sorts of blue items. What I can't do is I can't give you blue. Blue is just a descriptive word. I can't hand you blue. I can hand you things that are blue, but I can't hand you blue. And what we're looking at in the genomic is we're not just looking at the description, the diagnosis, we're actually looking beyond that. Give me more information, please. What could the possible causes of these symptoms be? That's what we're doing. Okay, explanation 3. Yeah, this one comes a little bit of backstory. Some of you do or don't know me, but I've been an organic farmer for a very, very long time, and I love to go to organic conferences. It's a big deal of mine. Microbiome and studying soil and soil health has been a big part of my evolution. And I went to one called Moses, and it's the Midwest Organic Conference. It's amazing. It's in the Midwest. They hold it once a year, and it's usually like late winter, early spring. Phenomenal conference. Well, I was at this conference, and there was this person, it was a couple actually. They were up there teaching about weeding the soil, not the crop. And they were using what was the weeds that were growing to determine what the soil needed and what they should plant there. Wait, what? They were saying, okay, well, this type of plant grows in, this type of weed grows in acidic soils. Therefore, if I want to utilize the soil the way it is, I'm going to plant consumables that have a high acid need, have a high pH need, or kind of went backwards on that one, or vice versa. And so by diagnosing the soil based on what was available or not available, they were able to determine what they should or should not grow, or what amendments they should add to the soil in order to get what they wanted to grow. Well, I put that together with natural health and came up with this whole other concept. I'm kind of going to go through it with you just real quick here. What if we don't consider the body to be broken? What if when we look at this, you see my workspace here. What if we consider the body to be fully functional and not having a meltdown? What if we consider symptoms to be a sign of what we should be helping the body accomplish? So instead of saying, oh, we have diarrhea, could we look at the digestion rate? Instead of fighting the symptoms, what if we join the body in what it's actually trying to accomplish? Which leads me back to, I'm gonna go back to a couple pages here. And then to this whole process here. And it's homeostasis symptoms for balance. Yes, I wrote this. Yes, it comes from my own mind. We're going to read this real quick. Homeostasis, any self-regulating process by which biological systems tend to maintain stability while adjusting to conditions that are optimal for survival. If homeostasis is successful, life continues. If unsuccessful, disaster or death ensues. The stability obtained is actually a dynamic equilibrium in which continuous change occurs, yet relatively uniform conditions prevail. When your body has a symptom, it is not there for us to attack. It is a visual, physical sign that the body's already addressing a condition. I'm not after your symptoms. What I'm doing is, all right, I'll read exactly what I have here because I went through kind of a logical. When your body is actively working hard to maintain or regain homeostasis, symptoms occur. Symptoms are not something to reverse or fight against. Also, symptoms serve as a warning system. Flashing red, something is out of balance here. Symptoms are signs that the body is already addressing an out of balance. Given that view, can we see this next fact? Whenever our goal is to just reduce the symptoms, we're fighting against our body. This is the primary driving factor behind functional medicine. Your body is not choosing to break down, throw a fit, or kill itself. It's a collection of chemical data responding to outside chemical influences. Your body is not broken. There's nothing wrong here. Yet we may experience some pretty disturbing and alarming symptoms. Both can be true. So what can we do? This is where genomics comes in. Genomics looks at the chemical gears and mechanisms. Let me kind of go down here. Yay! By looking at how your DNA affects how you make and transport important vitamins, hormones, minerals, and things that contribute to inflammation and repair, our reports help to identify the interplay between variants and how they impact your life. We include evidence-based, well-researched potential intervention strategies, environmental, lifestyle, nutrition, supplements, and medications. All of this serves as points of discussion between you and me. Guys, that's what I'm doing here. That's what this whole book is about. All right. We're going to continue with the book because I want to keep these videos on the short side. I teach you how to use this book. This is part of that process. Notes from our appointments, what they mean. Because we keep track. Another one of those. Okay. We have here a glossary of terms because I don't expect you to be at the level I'm at right away, but I definitely feel like you can get there. Here we go. This here is basically how to sign into your patient portal. I'm going to keep it in your book. This way you never lose your digital copy. We're going to keep going. Here's more notes. Your vitamin supplements. When we actually get a game plan, this is where you're going to use that. I think I have a couple of these in here. Oh, travel packing list. I want to make sure you bring your supplements. I just included that. That was kind of cute. Here's those hands-out I was telling you about. What foods are going to be good for that particular gene variant. You see a big old sticker. Sometimes I get really fun and put big giant stickers on things. Sometimes I use little tiny ones. And then here's the research associated with those things. And the goal here is to give you more independence, to give you understanding of why am I making these recommendations, and to really put you back in the driver's seat, to put you feeling empowered and in control of your own health. My total goal. All right. I don't want to meet with you every hour. I don't want to be there and hold your hand, but I do think there's a place for an intermediary to give you what you need to always be heading a little bit closer to optimal health, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening, and goodbye.